Very good afternoon, everybody. But that's a great applause to start with. Hopefully afterwards also. I'm here with my friend from the US and partner, Aakash Ravi. He's from Spacety, and that's why I speak English. I'm Dutch, of course, Frans Konings, how could it be else? So if I make any mistake, don't worry. Also afterwards, if you have some questions and you rather speak Dutch than English, no problem. We will translate it for Aakash. We want to take you on a journey using user-friendly thinking and technology to transform traditional offices into hybrid mixed spaces. That's what we do together with Spacety, WiSmart and Spacety together. Why do we do that? Well, because of employee happiness. We want to continue with that. We also see that you need to do something else to attract the attention of talents. So talent retention is very important. Making use better of spaces is something which is, well, in everybody's life here. So millions of euros cost savings when you can do so if you take your buildings into account and recalculate capacity versus people and building. Data-driven approach to understand that is very important. Because if you know the behavior of all the people in the buildings, you can also predict how many space you need. And that's also going to the matter of health and well-being. We've been in a period, I don't have to rephrase that, but the COVID period was for us a disaster, all of us. We want to go back, but we also want to go back in a safe environment. If you measure the safe environment by using data of sensors, air quality sensors, for example, you can also help people to work in that safe environment. And then the last but not least, sustainability. We have the label C in the Netherlands, and we have label A in 2030, where we have to go to. This also contributes to sustainability. But first of all, about WiSmart. WiSmart is a young company, and we love people and embrace technology every day. Smart is our key. We do everything to make it smart. And connecting installations and provide insights from data is a very important one. That's what we do. We are a young company, what I said, in 2021, and we are located in Waalwijk, and we love coffee. That's also why we offer you a coffee here at the fair. So if you want to be welcomed with us with the barista. We have a few pillars, but mainly driven on data, and we make smart controls, like building automation systems. We make smart lighting, for example, for DAG on the Maasvlakte. We have big warehouses where we create smart lighting solutions. And of course, we have smart workplace, and that's what we do with Spacety. And therefore, I want to introduce Aakash to you right now, because we're going to show some real case studies, which we have created with them.
So I'll speak in an American accent and try to speak very slowly, but if you guys have trouble understanding, please ask me to repeat anything. Thank you, Frans, for the great introduction. We are trying to bring a lot of the learnings we've had internationally to the Netherlands. I love Holland. My sister actually studied in Utrecht, right next to Amsterdam. So I've been here many times, and it's always a pleasure to come back. Myself, I'm based in New York, but we at Spacety, we have clients in over 20 countries. Below, you can see some of the large accounts we work with. So what we really want to show you today is some of the stories internationally and how we can apply some of the similar learnings also here in Holland. So that's just a little bit of an introduction about Spacety. So what we're going to do is take you through 3 stories. We have many more, which we're happy to tell you about, but we find that these 3, I think, are very inspirational, and they are coming from different perspectives and different goals. And it's all about putting the user first and the technology second. So the technology is always just an enabler to make the users and the occupants feel better in their space and lead to all of those goals we talked about. So, Frans? So the first story is about is a PFA, which is a pension fund in Denmark. And they're a big landlord, and both for their internal spaces, and they own a portfolio of about 80 buildings in Denmark, Sweden, in area. And they have converted all of those buildings from a single-tenant concept into a multi-tenant shared office concept called the Union. And this is very inspirational because they work with some of the most traditional organizations, such as Ernst & Young and large enterprises, who have until now signed long-term 15-year leases. And they've converted all of these leases into short-term, 3-month, 6-month leases with fully equipped offices and all of the related services. So we're talking restaurants, cafes, ordering food, all of these surrounding services within that space. So the tenants have the flexibility to choose how many offices or how much space they need, and they have all the services surrounding that they don't have to take care of anything related to their office space, including, of course, audiovisual technology, internet, and all the surrounding amenities. On top of that, they've also equipped all of their space with sensors for occupancy and air quality, and they're using the data about the space usage and the air quality to re-engineer all their properties with the building management system to make them more efficient from the energy consumption perspective. Of course, all across Europe, we have the goal, the dates differ, but everyone agrees 2030 to get to net zero carbon emissions, and of course, PFA being a pension fund, follow a lot of the ESG regulations. So the data they get from their space usage and air quality in this space becomes very important to re-engineering the buildings that they own. So this is a very unique use case, both in their own properties, own offices with 2,000, 3,000 employees, as well as their own portfolio of properties to make this transformation. And as a landlord, I think it's very forward-thinking because not many landlords are thinking like this, and it's maybe a model for the future of how spaces should be data-driven and really focused on the needs of the occupant and not just signing long leases. That's not should be the goal of real estate anymore. The second or case study we are bringing is the case of Deloitte. So they have a lot of goals around how their employees should behave and how the lifestyle of their employees should be. And what they really wanted to make of their space is to encourage healthy habits. So they've done several things. First of all, they've included fitness rooms and bike racks in all of their buildings. And secondly, they've transformed all of their parking spaces into an amenities. And I'll explain what that means. So all of this space is a hybrid workplace. So they have a cafeteria, they have all a hybrid environment without any fixed seating. They also have in this space a fitness room and a bike rack in the basement. And what they've done is all of their parking spaces are on demand. So no one has fixed parking space anymore. Everyone has a certain number of hours that they have in their parking garage, which is they can reserve via an application. And if they go above certain hours, their department or that specific employee gets billed. And this is encouraging as many people to take public transport as possible instead of driving their cars to work. So this is both at the same time encouraging the healthy behaviors of walking or biking to work, and at the same time reducing the carbon emissions of Deloitte. So this is a great use case of how you can both encourage healthy behavior by putting the user first, and also reduce the overall carbon emissions of the company. Of course, all of this is powered by technology. So all of their fitness rooms, all of their lockers are connected to their smart applications. So you can reserve it. You view in real time how many hours you have left in your booking system. And so all of their employees know exactly how much availability they have and how much they can use before they get billed again. So this is another interesting case study of how putting the user first and combining many different services, not just traditional office cubes, but things like fitness rooms, bike racks in the same building can lead to healthier behaviors over time. And the last case study is from L'Oreal in Germany. And this is a transformation they made even before the COVID pandemic happened back in 2019. So before, you can see above, they had a desk-to-employee ratio of about 1-to-1. So this is how a lot of companies, even today, are still organized. So everyone has their own fixed desk. There's no room for change or transformation. And what they've done is using technology and sensors to really understand how their space is being used, have transformed that 1-to-1 desk-to-employee ratio. And to the left, you can see here a 0.6 to 0.8 desk-to-employee ratio. And why it's important, that range, is because each department has its own needs. There's no unique solution that's going to fit the whole organization. So their sales and marketing or their HR department all have different ratios. So the sales and marketing team only have 0.6 desks to one employee, whereas their HR teams have a little bit more. And they've combined the data as well as the physical surveys with their employees to make this dynamic kind of ratio for all of their organization. And why it's so important is because by making this transformation, they were able to fit 15% more employees in the same amount of space. They had an enormous ROI on this overall transformation. And more importantly, they were able to add more collaborative, dynamic areas in the remaining area that they've saved. So they added new types of furniture. They treated it as a test area where they could try out new types of furniture and layouts, activity-based working, collaborative areas, collaborative zones, and really created an environment where the employees are not forced back, but they want to come back to be together with their colleagues and feel a part of the company culture. So in one single transformation, using data, they've managed to create a space that's more fit to the needs of each department, whether it's sales or human resources. And at the same time, they've saved a lot of money and created a space that everyone wants to come and collaborate with their colleagues. So I think it's a really great transformation, and a lot of companies will need to be thinking in this way going into the future. So really happy to go through that with them.
Thank you, Aakash. Well, these are 3 great examples, and I can wonder that you are asking yourself the question, how can I start this journey? Well, we as WhiteSmart, of course, can help you. We are a partner of SpaceT, of course, and we work together very closely. You can do it step by step. Like, for example, Alliander. We've been speaking with them also for several months, and what we've done there is we start a small pilot. Also, they are willing to come back to the office, but they are asking questions, how are we going to work hybrid? Their hybrid definition is working online together or working on location together. And that raises a lot of questions. And by doing a pilot, which we serve together as SpaceT and WhiteSmart, by doing the pilot, they get the experience. And the experience is around having the software and having some hardware in place. And the software is having a dashboard. And the dashboard gathers data. And that data is giving them insights. But more importantly for them is they want to be the best employer for their employees, as for example, as for the talent retention. And there's also a very important one, the app, the user-friendly app, which is fully integrated into the system, which is very intuitive. And that is what they're using right now. And the outcome will lead to, hopefully, a new big project, because Alliander is indeed a great customer in future for us. We will be happy to meet you on our booth. What I said before, we love coffee and we love to share it with you. So the barista at our stand is ready to offer you a coffee, and we are ready for you to have a talk. We are there together with a partner, the Blik. And the Blik, they offer acoustic solutions for offices and buildings and schools. And we have a cube there. You can experience the cube. And what we do together with them is we make them smart by adding sensors into the cube, for example, and adding a meeting room display where you can book directly the meeting room, the cube, when it's available or not. Coffee is on us, and I can understand, and I hope that you will have questions for us. We would be happy to answer them. And once again, thank you from my side. And Aakash, thank you for the opportunity to talk here, and hope to see you.